how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Monsters. This is Season 1, Episode 22, and this one's entitled Satan in the Suburbs. It originally aired May 13th, 1989. It was directed by Warner Shook and stars Christopher Noth, Deborah, Strang, and Danny Gerard. And overall, this is an okay, funny little episode. Not my particular cup of tea, but if you guys like the lighter side of Monsters, you can probably get into it. Basically, a struggling single mother is approached by a demon who tries to force her to write his memoirs and will try to make her life better to tempt her down this path. And the thing is, it's a very standard, oh, it's too good to be true, and then sure enough, it immediately turns out to be bad. We've kind of seen this story before, quite a lot really, but here it's in a different, more lighthearted setting, something akin to a rom-com or a sitcom. And it's, a little lighter, a little funny, and, the characters are lively, the humor does in general work, she'll say things like, she'll get excited and say, oh God, and the demon's like, don't say that. It's a fun little bit, and, it's okay for what it is. Again, I'm not a huge fan of lighthearted comedy, but besides that, there is a few problems with the story's telling structure. For example, they try to force her into this, so it's not really a look you gave into your greed story. I will say that she comes up with something clever near the end, and it's a fun little ending. But also that half-hour time block that Monsters had to fit into did hurt this episode a bit. There's things like being a writer and trying to come up with a story. That's kind of misery, and I wish that got expanded more, and I wish we had more time to soak in, the weight of the choices and giving into them before it turned sour. I wish this one was a little longer and a little more fleshed out. It really could have helped build the ideas, but overall, as it stands now, it's funny. If you guys like the more lighthearted side, it's a passable little quirky episode, and I can see some people digging it. I just thought it was okay. But I guess in order to analyze it further, let's talk a bit about the plot. I'll do a bit of analysis and talk about what I think works and doesn't. I won't be covering the end though, so no major spoilers. But without further ado, let's dive in. We open up with the single mother character. The husband's dead and she's trying to make ends meet. She wants to be a writer of this, pulp romance novel, but she's constantly distracted by the world around her. The phone's always ringing with a bunch of people saying that she owes them money, and then she's trying to start a cookie business, and she keeps burning the cookies because she can't focus on them. And on top of that, the kid hates school, he hates his teacher, and the kid has this crummy little model he built. A bunch of things to stress her out, and ultimately, she's a relatable character, and you can get behind her. It's pretty easy to get behind her. And that's when the demon is going to approach her, and the demon, makes a circle of smoke on the door, and you think he's gonna crawl through it, but then he just appears after the circle disappears, so I'm not quite sure what that effect was going for. But whatever. The demon is like a guy with a mustache, a goatee, and a bright red shirt and shoes. It's simultaneously low-key, but also very on point, and it's a fun design for the comedy episode that this is. And he'll say that he's a demon, he was in hell, and he made a Super Bowl bet with the devil, and because he won, the devil's going to let him go down to earth and make this lady write his autobiography. And the thing is, though, there is a slight plot hole, because this demon will try to taunt her into doing it by saying, oh, you're gonna wind up as a homeless beggar, and your kid is going to get really fat from eating all that cookie dough. Yet, if it's implied that demons can see the future, how are they betting on a Super Bowl bet that they would have already known the outcome of? Whatever, that's beside the point. She tries to back out, and he, of course, will lock the door, and the phone will be, like, scolding hot. And, she doesn't really have much of a choice. And the thing is, when you do a temptation story, I do think the choice is an important element. But again, whatever. I do like when the son gets back home, the son starts talking to the demon, and he's like, is hell all hot and full of screaming people? And does it smell terrible? And the demon's like, yeah, that's about right. And the kid's like, oh, cool. And I do like how a little boy would totally hit it off with this guy. It is a funny element of humor there. And of course, he's going to be trying to get her to write that memoir. They're going to go back and forth, and you will get him giving her nice things, but of course, almost immediately we see how they affected the people that got them, or how they impacted the world to get to her, and we see that, of course, they're bad things. I will again reiterate, the ending does come up with a clever little idea, and it is fun enough, so I don't want to say this is a bad episode by any means. It's just lighthearted and whimsical, not really for me, and I do prefer the darker, scarier episodes, and this doesn't really tread down any particularly new path. Overall, it's okay if you just want a lighthearted, funny episode, but I'm hoping for more scary stuff, and I think the next episode is a really good example of that, and we'll get to that very soon. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Monsters playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about past episodes of the show, you should be able to find them there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.